What's up, guys? So episode 2 today, we're gonna start working on this housing. So I bought this center housing and I bought the DOM tube, and I'm gonna put it all together, weld it up. Couldn't afford to buy a whole housing, and because it's just such a custom install, I didn't know where anything was gonna be, so I just decided to build it myself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this guy on here, and this gives me the pinion center line. So then I know that I want the pinion centered in the car, so I'm going to measure from here to where these tubes hit the internal gusset. So the tube goes in until it hits that gusset, and then once it hits that gusset, then it welds on this side, and then it welds in the front and all around the sides. So I'm going to measure from the pinion to the gusset on either side, and then I'm going to take that piece of DOM tube and make it so the pinion is centered and that there's an equal amount on either side of the piston, either side of the pinion. So I'm gonna get this set up in my bandsaw. While I'm working on this, I got my machine running, so I'm hoping that the noise, so I'm leaving the garage door down. Hopefully that noise doesn't get into the video too much. I'll try to pull some of that out in the post-processing. So let's get that set up in the bandsaw. Alright, so let's get some measurements so we know how to cut this tube. So if I measure from pinion center out to here, it's looking like 6 3/4 inch to the outside of the gusset. And if I come on this side, looking like 5 1/4. So it's 1.5 inch offset between this gusset, that gusset, and the pinion center line. It's 1.5 inch over. So I'm going to make some marks on the tube, get it set up in the bandsaw, and I'll meet you in there. So now that we got this cut, I can prepare this to be welded. So I'm going to deburr this inside edge, because I have pucks that I made that go in these ends, and then I bought a piece of turn ground polished 1.5 inch bar that I'm going to use as an alignment jig, so that I can line these up as close as they can be. This way, when I go to put the ends on, these will already be pretty well lined up. These don't have to be super perfect. The ends, the housing ends, need to be really good, but these just need to be pretty close so that the ends aren't way offset when I try to weld them on. So, for now, I can kind of line this up how it's going to be. So if I put this end in here, around, and I can put this end in here. Up on these jack stands. And that's basically how it's going to be. Like I said, I'm going to put the alignment bar through. There's pucks that go on this end and that end on both sides, and then I have a big bar. It's going to go across the whole length. That's going to line everything up nice and straight. And then this gets welded along this whole seam here, all the way around the outside. And then on the inside, see if I can get you guys in there. So on the inside, this is where the tube comes up. So I'm going to bevel back the edge of the tube. It's not very lined up very well, but that's the general idea. So I'm going to bevel this tube back on the outside edge, just so I can get a really nice good weld into that area. So I'm going to get some of the other stuff, the pucks that go in here, and on the outer end, the bar. I'm going to get all that ready, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so I got the bar. This is the turn ground polished bar. I got my pucks in here. I got my pucks on the end. So now these fit into there. And then on this side, they fit in here. There it is. Okay. Now. Okay. Just push like that. Okay. Alright. And this last one to go in there. And like that. Alright. Okay, so now that bar has aligned these axle tubes, so now it's resting on there, and it's on the pucks on both ends and on the inside. So now we're ready to tack it. Alright, so I got the bar in there, the pucks are in there, got the welder set up, so let's give this a few tacks and see how it goes. Alright guys, well, it's welded up, and of course it started raining. I don't know if the camera got hit, but she's welded up. She's nice and straight. Plugs are still in there, so I'm gonna call this good. Alright, day 2. Had a little rain delay yesterday, of course. It starts raining as soon as I start welding, so I got the majority of this done. I do have to finish up the inside. I gotta weld these inner axle tubes into the gussets there. But I took out the end pucks last night. I didn't do it on camera, but I wanted to see how much this thing moved, because I knew it was gonna move, because there's so much welding that needs to be done. So I wanted to see how bad it was, and I was pretty happy to see it's not really that bad. So take a look. You can see, if I look right down, try to block this light, you can see it's only off by about 30 thou or so, and that's pretty much on both sides. If you look at both sides of this, I'll get you down in there. So it's out about 30 thou, 30, 40 thou, which isn't really too bad. So considering how much welding had to be done, these seams are so big in the front, and it's really heavy material, so I had to put a whole lot of heat into there to get a nice good weld. So I was really happy to see that it didn't really warp that much. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then we'll get back to it then. So, got the inside all welded up. Probably kind of hard to see with the lighting. Kind of see on that side. So I got the inner sides of the tubes welded, outer sides of the tubes welded. So, turn this off. So I'm gonna call this axle housing complete. So next thing we're gonna do is gonna get this over to the car, throw it under there, see how everything fits. All right, it's back out of the garage. Got the new housing here. So only thing left to do is get rid of this Bronco housing and get that under there. So here we go. Alright, so there it is, the new housing. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up with this. So the next video, we look at the 4-link brackets going from here, throw over on the body over here. So stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.